Good day everyone, I am Queenie Jane Danielle Wakat. So together with my co-reporter Stephanie Fernandez, we are going to discuss Vygotsky Sociocultural Theory Fundamental Principles of Sociocultural Perspective of Learning. So before that, we are going to tackle the life of Vygotsky. So who is Vygotsky? Lev Vygotsky was born in Russia in 1896. He died at the young age of 37 from tuberculosis. Due to his early death, most of his theories were left undeveloped, although some of his writing being translated from Russian. His work in the last 10 years of his life has become the foundation of much research and theory in cognitive development. Also, Lev Vygotsky is credited with setting up the framework for sociocultural theory. Furthermore, the objective of sociocultural theory is to understand how an individual's mental functioning is tied to their culture, history, and the institute they have been a part of. According to this concept, social interaction causes ongoing step-by-step changes in children's mind and behavior, which might differ substantially between cultures. But many believe that had he lived on the a full life, he would have contributed even more and possibly carried out more definitive experiments to improve his existing theories. Okay, next, before we go deeper to our discussion, so let's have first the overview of the theory. So, Vygotsky believed that human development and learning is a process that occurs through social interaction. These social interactions, according to Vygotsky theory, often involve family and community. He further said that these interactions are the key means through which children learn and acquire behaviors. So what are those behaviors? These behaviors will improve their cognitive processes in relation to their own culture and persons in their immediate social proximity. Vygotsky theory also is distinguished by the substantial emphasis placed on culture. He believes that learning happens in two levels, which is the social and individual. His philosophy also integrates intellect and social environment. Through interacting with a more informed individual will help children learn the methods of thinking and behaving that make a culture. Note that social contact causes long-term changes in a children's thinking and behavior. Moreover, the sociocultural theory of development examines the impact that peers or older individuals, as well as their cultural ideas, have on the children's learning. Let us move on to Lev Vygotsky sociocultural theory, which is the zone of proximal development. The zone of proximal development is one of the most components of Lev Vygotsky sociocultural theory. The zone of proximal development, or the ZPD, is understood as the theoretical area between what the learner is able to do without guidance, and what the learner can do with assistance of guidance from an adult or a higher skilled peer. So as you can see, Vygotsky zone of proximal development are categorized into three, which is first, what can I do? The second one is what can I do with help? Then the third one, what I can't do. So first, let us discuss what can I do. In what can I do, it is that what the learner already knows and where the learner is currently. In short, it can be worked independently. Then the second one is, what can I do with help? This zone of proximal learning development is that it is the learner or what the learner could understand. So, in short, it is do. It can be done. It can be do with guidance. And lastly is what I can't do. It is the learner, it is what the learner is not ready for even with help. Or in short, can't do even with guidance. Moreover, Vygotsky argues that without external assistance, the child cannot reach their full potential with respect to their learning capabilities. This zone of proximal development offers the best chance to, what do you call that one, acquire new skills. This reasons why players or students with coaches or tutors or the instructors specifically tend to be more well-versed in their area of expertise than an individual with no guidance. The second sociocultural theory is that language and private speech. Private speech, it is the children's self-talk which guides their thinking and actions. Eventually, this verbalization are internalized as silent inner speech. So, let's say for example, let's see, I need to click on this link and then type in the name of the file I want. You are talking to yourself. According to Vygotsky, you are not crazy if you talk to yourself. This is an important way we learn. We all know that language is the main mode of communication between an adult and their child, which amounts to the only area for learning possibilities for the latter. Vygotsky further understands that language in itself is an intellectual tool that becomes quite powerful in certain situations. Vygotsky also divides speech into social speech, in which begins at the age of 2, while in private speech, which develops around the age of 3 for self-regulation. And lastly, this manifests into inner silent speech, which typically around the age of 7. Furthermore, Vygotsky stressed the importance of private speech and attributed it to social interactions developed leading to higher cognitive capabilities based on their usage of private speech. So that's all for my assigned topic.
Scaffolding. It is one of method of guiding a student through the ZPD is to use scaffolding, hands and prompts that assess learning. The task is not simplified. Instead, the learner is given graduated guidance to complete the task. Scaffolding or instructional scaffolding as a strategy for supporting learners begins with Lev Vygotsky's sociocultural theory and his learning concept of the zone of proximal development or ZPD. Specifically, his sociocultural theory asserts that cognition is developed through social interaction. Vygotsky coined a definition of instructional scaffolding that focused on teacher practices. He defined this as the role of teachers and others in supporting the learner's development and providing support structures to get that next stage or level. Scaffolding is a concept critical to Vygotsky's theory. In special education, teachers use scaffolding in many ways to help children learn new tasks. For example, if a student needs to learn how to use a toothbrush, the teacher will first have to break the task into steps that the child can learn easily. The process of breaking down the task into steps is called task analysis. For example, the steps to brushing one's teeth might include walking to the sink, turning on the water, putting the brush under the water, putting toothpaste on the brush, opening one's mouth, bringing the brush up to the mouth, and so on. Once the task analysis is done, the teacher teaches the student the first step. If the student has a lot of difficulty with one step, the teacher may need to break that step down even further. With each step taught, the teacher may scaffold the student's learning. For example, the teacher may need to scaffold the step where the child physically brushes their teeth. First, the teacher may need to hold the child's hand to guide their toothbrushing movements. Later, the teacher may only need to tap the child's arm to remind them to move the toothbrush. Eventually, the teacher may need to verbally prompt the child, "Brush your teeth. Good job." Once the child knows this step and all the steps of the task, the teacher will be able to verbally tell the student to perform the task. "Go, brush your teeth," and the child will be able to do it. Teachers who are introducing new material to their student can usually determine when some students need more guidance to comprehend the material. Vygotsky's scaffolding is a theory that focuses on a student's ability to learn information through the help of a more informed individual. When used effectively, scaffolding can help a student learn content they wouldn't have been able to process on their own. The more knowledgeable other or MKO. The work of Lev Vygotsky has become the foundation of much research and theory in cognitive development over the past several decades, particularly of what has become known as social development theory. He has developed a socio-cultural approach to cognitive development. According to Vygotsky, much important learning by the child occurs through social interaction with a skillful tutor. The tutor may model behaviors and or provide verbal instructions for the child. Vygotsky refers to this as cooperative or collaborative dialogue. The child seeks to understand the actions or instructions provided by the tutor, then internalizes the information, using it to guide or regulate their own performance. This tutor is also categorized as more knowledgeable others or MKO. For example, a 5-year-old girl learning to ride a bike. Her grandfather not only holds onto the back of the bike but also verbally teaches her how to balance her bike. From the little girl's point of view, her grandfather is what Vygotsky would call a more knowledgeable other. Unique factors in Vygotsky's sociocultural theory. According to Piaget, he focused on the individual during social interactions. Piaget was highly critical of teacher-directed instruction, believing that teachers who take control of the child's learning place the child into a passive role. Further, teachers may present abstract ideas without the child's true understanding, and instead, they just repeat back what they heard. Piaget believed children must be given opportunities to discover concepts on their own. As previously stated, Vygotsky did not believe children could reach a higher cognitive level without instruction from more learned individuals. According to Vygotsky, he focused more on the social aspect of social interaction. He believed that the social interactions with adults and more learned peers can facilitate a child's potential for learning. Without this interpersonal instruction, he believed children's minds would not advance very far as their knowledge would be based only on their own discoveries. Practical applications of Vygotsky's sociocultural theory. Cooperative learning. Related to the ZPD, where students rely on each other to accomplish tasks that they would not be able to do on their own. When we say cooperative learning activities can be planned with groups of children at different levels who can help each other to learn. Teachers can make use of this where they assign tasks specifically to promote a collaborative culture amongst the students. Practical applications of Vygotsky's sociocultural theory. The cooperative learning. Cooperative learning related to the ZPD, where students rely on each other to accomplish tasks that they would not be able to do on their own. Teachers can make use of this where they assign tasks specifically to promote a collaborative culture amongst the students. The teacher must plan activities that encompass not only what children are capable of doing on their own, but what they can learn with the help of others. So when we say cooperative learning, activities can be planned with groups of children at different levels who can help each other learn. Second is lesson planning. Complicated tasks into smaller components that are achievable by the students, building their confidence in the process. So when we say lesson planning, when the MKO is in charge, such as a teacher, they can use scaffolding as described above to divide up challenging activities into manageable parts that the students can do, increasing their own their confidence in the process. Lastly, the reciprocal teaching. Reciprocal teaching is a modern educational technique that uses Vygotsky's theories to enhance students' comprehension of literature. In this approach, the teacher works alongside the students to help them learn and practice the four essential abilities: summarizing, questioning, clarifying, and predicting. The reciprocal teaching is a contemporary educational application of Vygotsky's theory. Is used to improve students' ability to learn from text. In this method, teachers and students collaborate in learning and practicing four key skills, like what I have said a while ago: the summarizing, questioning, clarifying, and predicting. The teacher's role in the process is reduced over time. Reciprocal teaching allows for the creation of a dialogue between students and teachers. This two-way communication becomes an instructional strategy by encouraging students to go beyond answering questions and engage in the discourse.